Hey, it's Nashi55. Wanted to do a video that'll kind of compare the different magazine styles between the M1 Garand and a more modern rifle, anything in the M16 class, or in this case I'm using the M1A. Just wanted to kind of give you a comparison between the two styles. You've seen this before. This is the bloc clip from a Garand. Pretty simple, just a stamped piece of sheet steel, kind of designed to be very simple to manufacture. This is the way that it contains the ammunition, and when it's actually loaded you have 8 rounds inside. Has a spring kind of action to it, I guess you would call it. As you can see, when the rounds are actually in it, it actually expands out, and that's what keeps the 8 rounds in there. They're not coming out. Doesn't really matter if you load the ammunition a little different. In this case, you can see the top round is on the left and this one's on the right. The rifle will feed it either way, doesn't matter. The bloc clip can be loaded either direction. There isn't really a top and a bottom to it, and since I'm inside, I'm not really going to load it, but this simply slips inside the rifle, just drops in, and then once you get it in position, you just simply shove it in with your thumb. And that's really, how people get the Garand thumb. I guess they simply leave their thumb in the magazine area too long, and once the action closes, they get their thumb caught. But from my experience, once you start feeling this first round slide forward, it's time to get your thumb out of the way. So you're just shoving it in, and once you feel it move, take your thumb out of the way. It's seated and the rifle is loading, and you're pretty much done. Like I said, it's pretty simple compared to this is the magazine from the M1A, this 20 round magazine. You can of course see the difference there. One is real small and compact, but it only holds 8 rounds. This one in this case holds 20, but you can get a 10 or 5 or 15, I think, for that rifle. So one is simple to manufacture, one's a little more complicated. I guess the real difference is the M1A probably is a little more complicated inside because of the mechanism to feed the ammunition. The M1A is maybe a little more complicated magazine, but the internals of the rifle are probably a little simpler because this is what's really forcing the rounds up. So I guess it's really just a trade-off. Both do a good job. I just wanted to kind of show you, like I said, this bloc clip, since it's a little different. And if you have a loaded clip, it's not really that difficult to unload it. You can just slide the rounds out. That's just the way I'm doing it. I don't really have any particular fancy style or trick to it. Just ease them out. Once you get the first one out, they're easy from then on. And then you're done, really. You can just pull several more out. Try to be easy with them. And loading is kind of the same thing. I don't really have any special trick for it. I just start laying them in the clip. Try to support them with your finger. Kind of stagger them out. And once you start getting more of them in there, you'll need to start snapping them in the top. Just keep going. And now, see, that's the 8 rounds. So it doesn't take very long. Of course, there's disadvantages to this. Like I mentioned earlier, you've only got 8 versus other rifles. Anything in the newer style that uses a detachable magazine, they'll hold 20 or 30, whatever it's designed for. This is kind of limited. Garand really only holds 8. There's not really any way to top it off easily, or to change that where it would be with a more modern rifle. So that is a little bit of a disadvantage to me. But this is a pretty clever system, actually, as far as I'm concerned, because it's a very simple piece, yet it's very efficient at what it does. I guess the biggest difference to me is like I showed you there, you can have 20 rounds or 30 versus 8, so that's something that really would make you pick. I guess you'd have to pick one of the newer rifles if you really had to use it in the military, in a combat situation. It's hard to make a decision to go with just 8 or 20 or 30. So, but anyway, the Garand's got a pretty unique style of holding the ammunition. Of course, this is just the M-block clip. The actual magazine is really what's inside. That's where the ammunition is stored. So, the ammunition on a different rifle, this is the magazine. In the Garand, it's really internal. So just keep that in mind next time you see a Garand or you look at one. They have a kind of unique way to carry the ammunition, and I don't know that it's a disadvantage or really an advantage. It's just a different style, but it is kind of unique in some ways. So just keep that in mind and get out and shoot a Garand if you have a chance, and I think you'd enjoy it. This one's been a lot of fun, so just wanted to show you a little bit about it. Thanks for watching.